Action with Communities in Cumbria, Annual Review 2024-25. Welcome to our 2024-25 Annual Review. Our Chair, Jim Webster, says, "This year I want to celebrate the commitment of 3 people to ACT over many years. Firstly, our President, Jolyon Dodson, has stood down after over 40 years' involvement with the organisation. We will miss him and wish him a well-deserved rest. Secondly, we have 2 trustees standing down, Liz Clegg and Charles Eckroyd. Both have contributed to the board for over 15 years, and we thank them both for their commitment. A new trustee, Beck Stamper from rural West Cumbria, has recently joined the board. The trustee team are a committed, engaged bunch with diverse experience of rural and community issues. We couldn't be ACT without them. ACT goes from strength to strength. I hope you enjoy reading about our year, and we always welcome any feedback." Some of the ACT trustees and staff are pictured here. We thank all our trustees, past and present, our staff team and our small number of very committed volunteers, and our funders. ACT's mission is to champion community and rural issues. We support communities to plan for their future, develop and sustain projects, work with others and influence policy change. Our vision is that no one should be disadvantaged by where they live. Our year in numbers. This year we've secured $833,000 for Cumbrian projects. We've helped develop 25 community plans, both emergency plans and community-led plans. We've supported 453 community building inquiries. We've helped 5 groups to explore housing need and solutions. 14,000 people have been involved in creative activity in West Cumbria. And we've delivered 8 newsletters circulated to our 2,400 ACT supporters. We are championing community and rural issues. We've had over 576 inquiries in total. ACT's President Jolyon Dodson retires after 40 years' involvement. Jolyon originally worked alongside ACT, VAC as it was then, on economic issues. He became a board member and then chairperson for us, and more latterly became our president. Jolyon was also chair of our national organisation ACRE, Action with Communities in Rural England, for many years. Jolyon has been deeply involved in music, both within Cumbria and nationally. Here he is conducting Ambleside and District Choral Society's Christmas concert. Jolyon's commitment to ACT has been a backstone of the organisation, from facilitating at community mediation meetings, to representing us at national level on rural issues, to chairing and advising the board. We wish him all the best. Influencing policy change. This year, DEFRA-funded Rural Housing Enabling Service has supported 4 communities of less than 3,000 people to understand their housing needs and look for options and partnerships to bring small housing development to fruition. Working with our key partner, Eden Housing Association, the RHE service in Cumbria is supported by an advisory group that includes all 4 of our planning authorities, Westmoreland and Furness, Cumberland, Lake District National Park Authority and Yorkshire Dales National Park Authority, and several of the registered providers who operate in Cumbria, including Castles and Coasts, South Lakes Housing, Home Group and Westfield. The advisory group is providing a useful platform to focus on rural affordable housing in particular, with chances to share opportunities and influence policy development. We heard in early 2025 that there will be a year's extension of funding for this service, which will enable us to continue working with places who want to sustain their community. In 2024, ACT were commissioned by Westmoreland and Furness Council to better understand the voices of those living with poverty in Eden, with the aim to then influence policy development and service change. Working with partners, Citizens Advice and Age UK, Carl and Eden, we gathered evidence by talking to those experiencing poverty in Eden and the agencies and groups who offered support. Causes of poverty centred around housing, transport, fuel and employment. It was common that poverty experiences were aggravated by personal circumstances. The key points we learnt were: poverty is changing, one size does not fit all. People in rural communities are less likely to present as in need, and rural poverty is often hidden, but no less devastating. As a result of this work, an Eden Rural Poverty Working Group has been formed. You can see our Poverty Principles paper on our website. The address is here. Develop and sustain projects. Axe Community Building Service, a place to come with any community building related query. We provide one-to-one support, events, networking, regular updates and access to specialist national guidance across a wide range of subjects including governance and charity requirements, finance and fundraising, building improvements, energy efficiency, accessibility, food safety, licensing, car parks, and the list goes on. This year, ACT awarded Langwathby Public Hall and Arnside Educational Institute with National Village Hall Quality Awards for good management. Hallmarks 1 and 2 were awarded to both halls. The awards are a marker of the quality of a hall, which says it is well run, well organised and well administered. And you can see Helen here, our Village Halls advisor, with the 2 groups who received those awards. You can see our community buildings page on our website for lots more information and news about what halls are up to. We've been working with colleagues from the Cumberland Food Partnership as part of the ongoing national food conversation. We've been attending community panel network events to speak to communities about their thoughts and ideas relating to the food production system. We've heard about some of the amazing community growing projects such as community orchards and allotments, and about some brilliant innovative ways to reduce food waste and get affordable food to people who will benefit most. We're using this information to help us develop the support we can offer to groups across Cumbria, helping to further reduce food poverty, whilst hopefully contributing to a better environment and increased community participation. You can see more about the Food Cumberland Partnership at this web address here. Working with others. We support communities to develop their own transport solutions and work with others to make them happen. After community discussion, Greystoke now have a regular bus service again. We've discussed creative ways to encourage more users with the very active Greystoke bus user group. We've supported Sustainable Integrated Transport for Ullswater, SITU, to become a charity, discussing charitable purpose and governance. SITU are now running 2 buses in the valley in partnership with Stagecoach. The Enhanced Bus Partnership for Cumbria, EPB, is co-chaired by our CEO. The EPB offers opportunities to work in partnership with delivery and strategic partners, including open forums to discuss issues and consider potential solutions. We also work strategically on transport with other partners, including the Zero Carbon Cumbria Partnership and the Lake District National Park Partnership. The Community Spaces Partnership Pilot 2023-25 was delivered with partners from the Northumberland and Durham RCCs. The aim was to future-proof village halls and community spaces, focusing on the transition to net zero and building resilience. This was funded by the National Lottery Community Fund. We've provided information, advice, guidance, events and capital funding to 124 community spaces with a supportive developmental approach. 13 community spaces were supported with $375,000 for capital energy improvement works, supported to complete governance reviews. 22 bursaries were awarded for professional building condition and energy surveys, and National Guidance, a guide to surveys, was commissioned to explain the benefits of different building surveys and how to select professionals.
The governance check was brilliant. We didn't really understand what we didn't have until the check. Getting it all sorted is great. We can look back on everything we've done for this project. If there's a bigger project to do next time, we now know that we can achieve it. Since ACT got involved, it's been so much easier because someone who has the knowledge is there to help us fill the gaps. It makes the world of difference.
In early 2025, we heard that the partnership bid to continue this project was successful. For the independent review of this project, see this website here. Planning for the future. We've continued to work closely with Electricity North West and Cumbria Community Foundation to enable communities impacted for more than 72 hours by Storm Arwen to become more resilient against future power outages and storms. We supported 35 community buildings to receive Storm Arwen funding. Funded by Electricity North West and in partnership with Cumbria CVS and Westmoreland and Furness Council, we provided 2 online workshops with 70 attendees for local community members and support staff focusing on developing community emergency plans. We've also provided one-to-one support to help 15 communities develop their plans. You can find resilience resources on our website and from the Cumbria Local Resilience Forum, which we partner, at this website address. We secured an additional 5 years funding from the Esme Fairbairn Foundation for our collaborative hub in a great endorsement of our work to raise community voice in the Lake District National Park. How do we get the best out of our visitors in Wasdale so we thrive as a community? This is the question the Wasdale Citizens Panel discussed last year. Working with ACT and Shared Futures, the Citizens Panel explored the issues in depth and listened to commentators who shared experiences and solutions from other areas. The panel presented their recommendations to stakeholders and asked how they could deliver against them. The community have formed a group to continue these conversations and are working with stakeholders to tackle the issues together. Other Collaboration Hub projects have included continuing work on water quality, transport, engagement and planning policies. You can see the full recommendations from the Wasdale Citizens Panel at the following link on our website. Everyone Here. Our Arts Council England Creative People in Places project, Everyone Here, reached 14,000 people in West Cumbria this year. We made history in May 2024 by holding the first long-term citizens jury controlling a budget of $100,000 for cultural engagement. Their question was, how can everyone in West Cumbria be creative together? You can see a picture of them on the right here. In their first year, the Jury for Joy wanted to reach many of West Cumbria's smaller communities and developed the idea of a Spark bus that would tour 10 rural locations, bringing art to these communities and finishing with a festival. The Spark bus reached over 300 people with visual art, theatre and music. You can find more about EH and how to be involved here on our website. In December 2024, EH worked alongside Cumberland Council to deliver Hall Park Lightworks in Workington, a spectacular outdoor arts festival reaching 12,000 participants. You can see how spectacular it was in this image. Sensory World by local artist Natalie Sharp provided a huge success, reaching over 300 learning disabled and neurodivergent members of the West Cumbrian community with support from Lakes College and EH. The Green Creative Hub, in collaboration with Groundwork, saw regular engagement with local people using nature and art-based creative activities at the settlement in Maryport. Kieran, our artistic director, and jury member Claire Ainsworth spoke at a policy event in Westminster on the success of EH's use of creativity in deliberation within West Cumbria. ACT staff and trustees. You can see a picture of us here, and on the right you can see Kieran at the top and Jamie at the bottom. Our trustees are Jim Webster, who's our chair, Alan McVitie, who's our treasurer, Sam Bramwell, Joanne Shimming, Sue Castle-Clark, Debbie Freak, Charles Eckroyd, Liz Clegg, Nigel Curry and Beck Stamper. Thanks to all our staff and trustees for their commitment and dedication this year. Looking ahead, in the next year we will continue to work with communities and aim to deliver against our new strategy, working towards people not being disadvantaged by where they live. Use the responses to our rural survey to campaign for local people to be heard on local housing need and access to affordable transport. Explore ageing in rural places and what communities can do to support older people to stay in the places they identify as home. Promote well-being through physical activity with Active Cumbria and over 330 village halls, community buildings, and through community resilience with community planning and access to local healthy food. Here's a picture of our CAO at the Appleby Summer Crafty Trail. You can see our new strategy at this address on our website. We're going to continue working on community voice projects, helping people to have their say in influencing the decisions that affect their lives. We're going to support the new organisation, Everything, Everywhere, Everyone, to further develop the Creative People in Places project with Everyone Here. We're going to recruit new staff to support our delivery for communities in West Cumbria. We're going to seek additional new resources for capital works for village halls and community buildings to make them fit for the future. We're going to work with CVS and CYA to strengthen the support and role of the third and community sector in Cumbria. I'm going to take advantage of the new mayoral authority to promote a focus on rural issues. You can visit our community celebration page on our website for great examples of community activity. Voices from the Rural Survey. The nearly 200 respondents to our rural survey overwhelmingly saw local affordable housing and transport as key challenges for people living in our rural communities and want to express those challenges to people in power. Poverty was a more complex picture, with many respondents recognising the hidden nature of poverty and its links with expensive travel and housing. Here are some of the most powerful quotes.
Youngsters have no chance of accessing the housing market. As a local employer, it's difficult to employ staff that live locally. Less populated areas often have infrequent or non-existent public transport options, leading to isolation and reinforcing the dependence on private vehicles. A lack of permanent residence threatens viability of local services such as primary schools. It would be impossible to rely on public transport where I live. I am shocked how many in my area need to access the food bank. I think these are low-paid workers rather than unemployed people. There are lots of stoic pensioners in our community struggling to keep warm. Holiday homes are necessary but need controlling and curtailing.
We will use the survey results to help us advocate for change and ensure that rural communities are heard by policymakers. You can see the full details on our website here. Village Halls Week, Spring 2025. Village Halls Week is an annual national week-long celebration organised by ACRE and the ACRE Network. It shines a spotlight on the contributions that England's 10,000 plus and Cumbria's 330 plus village halls make to bringing communities together. The 2025 theme was celebrating, encouraging and supporting volunteers. These volunteers are the backbone to community involvement. A big collective thank you to all the volunteers who work tirelessly to keep community buildings and village halls open for the benefit of their local communities. ACT encouraged Cumbria's Village Hall volunteers to share their experiences, and you can see these stories on our website here. And here's a lovely picture of all the people who shared their stories, and we really do celebrate them because they're amazing people. Our financial report.
A good result this year from our careful husbandry of resources and new investment. We're using Flagstone, CAF Bank's investment portal, to manage our reserves and produce surpluses to support our work with communities. Everyone here continues to grow and spend and should become independent next year, a significant change for them and ACT. Due to the several multi-year projects and funding agreements we have, we changed our reserves policy this year so that we hold more funds to enable longer-term delivery. The security this offers us means we can ensure ongoing support to rural and wider community groups to be heard, to achieve their plans, and to work with others and share their achievements. Careful long-term management allows us to do this.
And you can see a picture of Alan, our great treasurer, here. This year, our charity income was £914,444. Our charity costs were £749,701. Our surplus this year is £164,743, of which £142,155 is restricted and £22,588 is unrestricted. You can see that our Arts Council England project provides nearly half of ACT's income. Our funders. We have great support from the Community Fund, the National Lottery Community Fund, and we really enjoy working with them. DEFRA has been a supporter of us for many years through ACRE. Electricity North West are doing small projects with us, as well as the much larger project they did with Storm Arwen. Esme Fairburn have become a long-term supporter of our work, and we're really grateful to them. Westmoreland and Furness are an ongoing supporter of our work. They've been supporting us for many, many years. And Arts Council England obviously are supporting the Everyone Here project. Thank you to all our funders and the other small funders who also provide us with small amounts of income. Support ACT. Become a free supporter of ACT. You'll enable us to keep you informed about our work and provide evidence to allow us to keep supporting Cumbrian communities for years to come. Remember, if you support us, we can better support you, and you'll get this lovely window sticker. Find our supporter form here on our website. Thank you for watching our annual review 2024 to 25. Please tell us if you enjoyed it. Please tell others too, and let us know if you've got any feedback at all. This was designed, produced, and the landscape photos were by our volunteer designer, Freya Wise.